The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden glow on the bamboo grove surrounding the gathering. The air carried the faint scent of blooming jasmine, weaving a sense of serenity among those present. Each stream, he continued, entices the mind to follow it, promising insights or joy, but often leading to confusion. Ananda, ever inquisitive, asked, "Blessed One, are these streams like the influx of information that surrounds us in this age?" The Buddha smiled gently. "Yes, Ananda, they resemble the currents of information, endless and tempting, yet rarely nourishing the soul. Consider a river," the Buddha said, pointing to the flowing stream nearby. "Its surface reflects beauty, but hides unseen dangers. In this digital age, streams of information flow relentlessly," the Buddha explained. "They mirror both wisdom and ignorance. Many become ensnared," the Buddha said, mistaking these endless streams for true knowledge, forgetting the peace found in stillness. Right mindfulness, the Buddha declared, is the way to navigate this river of illusions, avoiding the pull of distractions. Through mindfulness, the Buddha continued, you discern between what nourishes the heart and what feeds unwholesome desires or delusions. Right view, he emphasized, is essential to see the stream clearly, recognizing its transient and reflective nature. Not everything that glitters in these streams, the Buddha warned, is gold, and not all that flows is pure. Right intention, the Buddha said, aligns your heart with compassion and wisdom, steering your mind toward wholesome pursuits. This practice, the Buddha continued, guards against becoming lost in the illusions spun by endless streams of sensory experiences. Beware, he cautioned, of the craving that drives you to follow these streams. For craving is the root of suffering. Train your mind, the Buddha advised, to remain anchored, observing the streams without being swept away by their currents. The disciples exchanged glances, understanding dawning in their expressions. Door after door, she knocked, Buddha said, and each time, the answer was the same, death has visited here too. Imagine a lotus, the Buddha said, rooted firmly in mud, yet rising above the waters. Untainted and pure, the lotus, he explained, symbolizes the awakened mind, which thrives despite being surrounded by the currents of samsara. By practicing right effort, the Buddha said, you ensure your growth, regardless of the distractions that flow around you. Right speech, the Buddha emphasized, is like clean water, purifying the streams with words that are truthful, kind, and purposeful. The digital age, the Buddha continued, is an opportunity to reflect your practice through mindful interactions and compassionate communication. Right conduct, the Buddha said, ensures your actions do not add pollution to the streams, but nurture clarity and peace. Right livelihood, the Buddha advised, is about engaging with these streams without exploiting or harming others for personal gain. In the river of endless information, the Buddha warned, temptations abound, but wisdom arises from restraint and deliberate action. True joy, the Buddha reminded, comes not from chasing streams, but from realizing the stillness that resides within you. The still mind, the Buddha said, sees the reflection of the moon in the water without grasping or distorting it. Right concentration, the Buddha explained, allows you to see clearly, focusing on the truth that lies beyond the reflections. Awareness of impermanence, the Buddha said, teaches that these streams, no matter how enticing, are transient and ever-changing. Clinging to the streams, the Buddha warned, is like grasping at shadows, leading only to frustration and suffering. Instead, the Buddha advised, observe the streams with equanimity, understanding their nature without becoming entangled in their flow. The path to liberation, the Buddha said, lies in realizing the emptiness of these streams and the illusions they hold. Practicing mindfulness in this digital age, the Buddha concluded, allows you to navigate its complexities with wisdom and compassion. Let your presence in this world, the Buddha said, be a reflection of your inner practice and unshakable peace. The disciples bowed, their hearts deeply moved, and vowed to walk the path illuminated by the Buddha's words. The Bodhi tree stood as a silent witness to this profound teaching, its leaves rustling softly in the breeze. Another day, under the golden sunlight, the Buddha guided his disciples to a peaceful lake surrounded by reeds and flowers. Look upon this web, the Buddha began, pointing to a delicate spider web glistening with dewdrops in the morning light. This, he explained, is the web of Indra, a symbol of interconnectedness, reflecting all things in harmony and perfect interdependence. Sariputta, observing closely, said, Blessed One, this web resembles the networks we weave with words, actions, and shared ideas in the world. The Buddha nodded. Indeed, Sariputta, in the threads of this web lies both the power to connect and the danger to ensnare. Every action, like a touch upon this web, the Buddha continued, ripples outward, affecting others far beyond our immediate perception. Within this web, the Buddha said, our words, thoughts, and deeds reverberate, holding the potential for compassion or harm. Right speech, the Buddha emphasized, is the foundation of harmony, ensuring the web remains a source of shared understanding, not discord. Speak with truth, the Buddha advised, for falsehoods poison the web, creating threads of confusion that entangle and harm others. Speak with kindness, he continued, for harsh words tear the web, leaving it fragmented and unable to sustain its connections. Speak with purpose, the Buddha said, avoiding idle chatter that clutters the web, obscuring its clarity and harmony. The digital age, the Buddha noted, is like an expansion of this web, connecting hearts and minds across vast distances. Every interaction in this digital web, he explained, ripples outward, leaving marks that can uplift or wound those unseen. Right mindfulness, the Buddha instructed, is essential in navigating this web, ensuring your actions align with compassion and wisdom. Let your presence, the Buddha said, be like a gentle touch upon the web, fostering connection without causing entanglement or harm. The disciples absorbed his words as the Buddha turned toward the lake, its surface shimmering like an extension of the web. See how the lake reflects the web, the Buddha pointed out. Its surface reveals interconnectedness, but also the illusions of separation. The web teaches us, he continued, that no being stands alone. All are interconnected, sharing existence within the vast network of life. In this interconnection, the Buddha said, lies the path to understanding suffering and cultivating compassion for all beings. Near and far, right effort, the Buddha emphasized, ensures your contribution to this web nurtures others rather than adding to their struggles or despair. Beware of desires, the Buddha warned, that tempt you to manipulate the web for selfish gain, for they lead only to suffering. Desires, he continued, are like winds that tangle the web, leaving it fragile and torn, unable to sustain harmony. The grove seemed to lean in closer, holding its breath in anticipation of the unfolding tale. One fateful day, Sarjuna prepared to demonstrate his skill before a crowd. Buddha said, clinging to the threads, he warned, leads to suffering. While wisdom teaches us to move lightly and let go of attachments, let the Eightfold Path, the Buddha advised, guide your journey within this web, ensuring your steps are purposeful and compassionate. Practice generosity, the Buddha encouraged, as acts of giving strengthen the web, fostering connections that uplift and support one another. Practice patience, he said, for the web teaches resilience, enduring struggles while maintaining balance and interconnection in its threads. The weight of the narrative settled over the assembly, their empathy growing for the fallen archer, overwhelmed by his failure. Sarjuna abandoned his bow. Buddha continued. He could not bear to face the evidence of his imperfection. The disciples exchanged thoughtful glances, the story touching on their own fears and insecurities. Wandering aimlessly, Sarjuna carried his broken bow with him, a constant reminder of his shattered pride. Buddha said. Each step was burdened by the heavy weight of his regret. The rustling of leaves seemed to echo the melancholy rhythm of the tale. It was during this time that I encountered Sarjuna, Buddha said. As the sun rose higher, the disciples bowed, carrying the Buddha's teachings deep within their hearts and minds. The spider's web glimmered brightly, a symbol of interconnectedness and a reminder of the path illuminated by the Buddha's words. Another day, as twilight painted the sky, the Buddha gathered his disciples near a small lamp burning gently in the dusk. This lamp, the Buddha began, is a reminder of the light within each being, flickering yet resilient against the winds of change. Buddha began. Let me tell you a story of a tree and its fruits. A lesson in haste and carelessness. He paused briefly, ensuring their attention was fully captured, and continued. In a village far from here, there stood a tree whose fruits were the sweetest anyone had ever tasted. The flickering light, he explained, symbolizes the balance we must maintain, avoiding extremes that either extinguish or consume the flame. Right effort, the Buddha emphasized, is the practice of balancing your inner light, ensuring it shines without being overwhelmed or dimmed. The winds of craving and aversion, he warned, threaten to destabilize this light, drawing it toward darkness or uncontrolled brilliance. Practice mindfulness, the Buddha instructed, to protect your light, observing the winds without allowing them to dictate your path or actions. Let your light, he said, be a beacon of kindness and understanding, illuminating the path for others without burning too brightly. The Sangha, the Buddha reminded, as a support for your light, offering guidance and connection that strengthen its steady glow. In the digital realm, the Buddha said, let your presence reflect the practice of right speech, right effort, and right mindfulness. Share your light, the Buddha encouraged, with humility and compassion, using it to inspire rather than dominate or impose upon others. Right concentration, he noted, allows the flame to remain steady, focused, and unaffected by the chaotic winds of external distractions. By anchoring the mind, the Buddha explained, you maintain clarity and insight, ensuring your light guides you and others skillfully. The flame, he said, teaches us impermanence, reminding us that all things, like the light, are transient and ever-changing. Attachment to the self, the Buddha warned, is like grasping the flame, which burns when held too tightly or too carelessly. Through understanding impermanence, he continued, you release clinging to the self, allowing the light to shine freely and without restraint. Each being, the Buddha said, carries a light within, unique yet interconnected with the lights of others in this shared existence. In this interconnectedness, the Buddha explained, we find strength and purpose, illuminating the path together and reducing the darkness of ignorance. Let your light, the Buddha advised, be a reflection of your practice, steady and unwavering, bringing warmth and understanding to all. Right intention, he emphasized, aligns your actions with your inner light, ensuring your presence nurtures and supports rather than hinders or harms the self. In the digital age, the Buddha said, is like the flame, visible yet ephemeral, a reflection of inner practice. Guard against the winds of greed and fear, he warned, for they distort the flame, pulling it away from its natural state. Through mindfulness, the Buddha explained, you shield your light from these distortions, preserving its integrity and its ability to illuminate truth. The lamp, the Buddha said, is a reminder that the smallest light can dispel the greatest darkness when tended with care. The practice of compassion, he continued, is like sharing your light, igniting others' flames without diminishing the brilliance of your own. Let your actions, the Buddha advised, be guided by the light of wisdom, ensuring they reflect the harmony and balance within you. By walking the Eightfold Path, the Buddha explained, you sustain your light, allowing it to grow steadily and illuminate the way. The digital age, the Buddha observed, is an opportunity to extend your light into new realms, sharing wisdom and kindness with all. Approach this age mindfully, he said, with awareness of the shadows it casts and the potential it holds for shared enlightenment. Friends, let us not cling to the broken remnants of our past, Buddha said. Instead, let us use them to build a better future. The lamp burned steadily, a silent witness to the timeless truth of the Buddha's words and the path they illuminated. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.